So, good evening, folks. As it is well said that alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Now, the most awaited moment has arrived for which we were here. DSCCVRGU is privileged to welcome the guest speaker, Mr. Devang Sharma, CEO, founder, Tech Elite. Not only this, Mr. Sharma was a software developer engineer at Cisco and is a member of GDG Singapore. Today, Mr. Sharma is going to talk to us about the importance of communities for developers. This is the subject what we should all be deeply interested because it will help us to correlate with our lives and will help us to be a good renowned developer. Now I request Mr. Sharma to enlighten us with his remarkable words. The stage is all yours, Mr. Sharma.
Thanks a lot. My screen is visible to all of you. I hope that my screen is visible to all of you. Is it?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. Let's start the session. First of all, thanks a lot to DSP CVRG for inviting me for this particular session. And I must say honestly, this is one of the best topics that they have chosen. Importance of community. Well, I will start with the topics and will cover several aspects about community, like what is community, why we need community, what are the most common communities in tech giants that have introduced in terms of our students, and how we can enroll in. Apart from that, I will come to end how we can prosper in a community. As a developer and even as a professional, it is very important to be a part of community and contribute to it. So, without a further ado, let's start the session. So, welcome to all of you guys who have joined here and the one who will be watching later on YouTube. Thanks a lot for your time. So, just briefing about my intro, as the DSC team has already introduced me, just I'm adding a little bit to it. So, I've been a Harvard delegate twice. I've been a delegate with China. I'm part of the Google Developers Group at Singapore as a technical lead. Apart from that, I have done 9 internships during my organization. I love competitive coding, so being in top 1% in Google Start and Facebook Hackathon. Apart from that, I have mentored at organizations like Apple, Campkitwell, and Conscript Summer of Code. So I'm currently working as a SD at Cisco, and I'm currently managing my startup as Tech Elite India, where we prepare the students to prepare for the top product-based company. So without a further ado, let's start the session. First part, importance of communities in general. So when we say community, what comes in our mind? The group of people that actually help each other to grow to a common goal. Let's understand what is the group of community in terms of personal and overall development. A community means, I think, a sense of belongingness. Belongingness as well, there is a community that is uniting us. We are a part of something bigger. There's a bigger perspective than I. When we are in a community, we always say we. So this is the sense that it says we is greater than I. So being a part of community will make us feel as we are part of something that's greater than ourselves. It obviously gives us opportunities to connect with people, to reach for our goals, and makes us feel safe and secure. Most of the times, when encountered with problems that we don't have solutions ourselves with, we seek the help for the community and we go for it. Apart from that, it is very, very important for every person to have a sense of community. When we say the community, there is no particular hierarchy involved. Each and every one is individual. Is extremely important to the organization. So that's the difference between a particular hierarchical organization you see and a community. In a community, we don't follow any particular order. Each and every one is important and equally crucial. Now, coming in terms of what is the importance of communities for society, we have seen the importance for general and overall development. But let's understand the different aspects. Why do we need community for a society? Or what is the importance of a community for a particular society? So the best way to get involved is by seeking out opportunities to learn. One of the most biggest advantages of communities is that you get tremendous advantages, tremendous opportunities to learn. Each platform within the developer community or external to the developer community, it offers you unique opportunities for education. It doesn't matter which background you are from, even you're from a CS background or a non-CS background, even if you're not from a technology background at all. The community provides an opportunity to excel, learn, and get your training companies by learning with the peers. I don't think there's any other organization or any other thing like that that can provide you this kind of privileges. And that is only possible because of communities or the developer communities we have in the market today. We'll come to that later aspect. What are the some good communities that actually help us? But just starting from the giving a pinch about it, this is one of the best opportunities that anyone can take utilize of, irrespective of your social background, irrespective of your financial background, irrespective of any barrier you can see. So ultimately, you just need two things. One is the will to learn, and second is the internet. That's it. Everything is sorted out. If you have a problem you need to be solved or a new programming language to be learned, there's a good chance that you will find assistance through others in your field. There are people who are always ready to help you. And sometimes you don't even know the other person. He might be sitting in US or extremely far location from you, but the guy is always there to help you all around the world. And that's the part of the biggest community. Okay? So you'll be diving into a topic you're interested and just go from there. So there are always people to hold your hand and guide you through the path. This is not something for spoon feeding, but definitely for hand holding, there are always people available for you. And once you get involved, you will find a natural expansion of your network and opportunity. Important aspect of sharing in the community is sharing knowledge. As you must have heard this quote, knowledge is more quadrupled when you share it, right? So online platforms not only allow you to help others solve their problems, but also gain a better perspective of your skill. You might have a broad idea of how something works, right? But when you teach it, you actually break it down to and truly understand from the foundation. There's a very good proverb that says, if you cannot explain it in single words, you haven't understood it properly. So when you're teaching someone, when you're helping someone, or when you're mentoring someone, you're actually breaking down the complex problems into very simpler parts. And that simpler parts actually help you gain a better perspective out of it. Not just from a wholesome perspective, but piece by piece modular perspective. Apart from that, by sharing knowledge, you open yourself up to more conversations, learning, and ultimately more opportunities. As you know, your network is your network, right? So ultimately, the more you open, the more conversation you have, the more learning you have, you're just killing yourself. And ultimately, you're making ways for more opportunities. By breaking down your code, you re examine it and solidify and understand your reach. Apart from that, you can also take examples from others how to modify it, how to make it more optimized in terms of more optimal, in terms of time and space constraints, and the various trade-offs that you have to make in software development. In addition to that, by creating and contributing to the developer community, you're sharing our knowledge, and that always pays off. Helping others always pays off. The developer community becomes stronger through the collaboration we have with each other. Now, coming to a very important aspect, what is the future of communities in the world? How do we see the communities 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line? How it's going to be? So, see, let's go for a little bit fast. Over the last 20 years, as developers have become essential across industry, there used to be a time before past 20, 25 years when developers were limited to only software development companies. But now you take this today's generation or the next 5 years coming, I would say, it's going to be a technology dominant. Especially after that dot-com bubble in 1999, it's going to be a technologies era. So developers are not only limited to software companies or tech giants. Every organization, every industry, be it textiles, be it refinery, be it oil, be it financial expertise, be it investment banking, everything needs software to rely on, right? And as the world is moving to cloud, it is now very important to have the security aspect as well. So over the last 20 years, as developers have become more essential across all industry verticals, there are more places for developers to connect and has started to spring up. Now, there have been many conferences, in online conferences, offline conferences, which actually give a forum or a community for the developers to solve problems, create learning opportunities, and encourage networking. In addition to that, these various communities allow developers to expand their knowledge regardless of their level of experience and join conversations that wouldn't be possible instead their existing role. As I've already said, irrespective of where background you have, how much knowledge you have, or what financial background you have, what social background you have, there is absolutely no barrier in community. Each and every person is here to help you. Now comes a very important aspect of community, open source. Open source is one of the most important ways, or let's say the most common ways, I should say, for contributing to the community and being a part of a community. Now, what is open source? Let's deep dive into it. Okay. In production and deployment, open source is a philosophy or a method that promotes free distribution and access to a product design. Simply put, you have something which is product by some company and it's open source it. Open source as in you have got the access or the rights, privilege rights that you can modify it, design it, and develop it. Now, modify is as in what? You can open it as free, you have access for free, you have overtime access, Open as in not closed, you can reuse and you can change. Apart from that, you have the access to open in any place and for any platform and for anyone. Now, let's understand the difference between open source versus closed source. You are able to view and modify the source code of an application that is called the open source. For a closed source, you will not be able to view and or the modify the source code of a particular application. Linux, for example, Linux is an open source application. Windows is a closed source application. Open source software is released to the development community and then undergoes a secondary phase of evolution. But closed source software is developed in isolation with a small team of developers. If there's a very important security aspects are related, it's preferred to have a closed source software. But if it is kind of a software that is going to impact millions of users and that requires a lot of inputs, I would prefer it to go with open source software. Because reason is that developers from worldwide, thousands of developers across the worldwide, they contribute to it. Each and every aspect, each and every feature or a preview that you're going to add in the software is definitely going to impact billions and billions of people. So with that terms of aspect, it's always used to have open source software and make it better with this kind of time. Another advantage of open source is that you have a developer support and a very, very large community to help. Even if I take the example of GitHub, I think there are more than 20 million users actively using it. Open source is more secure and bugs and vulnerabilities are fixed often. Obviously, because you're dealing with so many developers around the world. So it's obvious that they are coming with the most optimal and optimized approach. So it is more secure and more bug free. Criteria for open source. So you basically need a source code. You need to get a pull request. You have derived work. You have distribution rights and distribution of license. And there must be some work ethics that you should follow in terms of the integrity of the open source code. License must not be restricted to other software. No discrimination based upon persons or groups or countries, and no discrimination against field of endeavor. Now let's get a brief overview how open source works. So here you see on the left side there's a developer, right? There's a source code and there's a compiled program. Now the end user or the other developers. So let's say he put this source code over the GitHub, which is open source platform, right? Now the user or the developers across the world, they modify each and every aspect of it. Some aspect the module A, some aspect the module B, some aspect the module C. So once they improve the code, let's say they optimize in terms of space and other optimize in terms of time. So ultimately the software becomes better, right? So after they improve source code, they can merge it and all the users or the developers worldwide are able to access it. So they vastly improves the source code. This is how a general overview of open source code looks like. So that basically helps us. You got a free software, you got the improvements for free, and now you're able to distribute to users. How amazing is it, right? And the best part is this software will be most probably it will be bug free. The reason for that is a large community of developers is working on it. In each and every developer is working his or her best to contribute to this software. Apart from that, let's consider the open source development model. In the development model, you have volunteers working for you, and the project lead will be the one who will be managing the volunteers. So each volunteer will be contributing to some of the parts of the software or the modules that is assigned to him or her. And based upon that, they can add features to it, remove bugs from it, and make sure that the code is the best used and optimized. Let's consider about the advantages of open source. Why should we actually prefer open source? Why should we consider example for the community? What's the advantage of it? First advantage is that source code is understand and learn from, right? You do not have to reinvent the wheel. When I say reinvent the wheel, I mean developing from the scratch. Once you have the given source code and you're part of a community, then you don't need to reinvent from the scratch. You can start it from where it is, read the documentation, continue contributing to the software. Free as in freedom. You always have the freedom to modify the source code as long as you are contributing some better aspects of it. Apart from that, you are not dependent on a particular vendor because it is given to a worldwide software or a particular community, right? So since you are a part of a community, you can actually contribute to it. You imagine a feature, let's say you want to add a Python script to it, or you want to add a voice recognition script to it, and that's going to impact billions of users or thousands of users. That is the example that you can do. That's the kind of freedom that you have as a developer from your end. Apart from that, you can choose the additional support and you can fix the bugs and adapt to change in requirements as well as technology. For example, the initial developer who was wrote the code, it might have been written for Windows and it might not work very well for the Mac software. So if you are a Mac developer, you can actually fix the bugs there and adapt it to the changes as per the versions and the technologies you are using. Apart from that, in terms of the business perspective, definitely it costs much less than the proprietary counterparts because you don't have so many developers. Because if you are going from a closed source or a proprietary charges, you're going to have each developer that you're contributing to, you have to pay him or pay her based upon the features there. But in terms of open source software, you have so many contributors and it's always almost free. I won't say the exact fee, but yeah, it comes in very, very, very less as compared to the cost for the proprietary counterpart. Some good examples of open source software, if we take into account, are application softwares like Samuel, Eclipse, Chromium, Mozilla Firefox, OpenOffice. These are some of the very common softwares that we use. These are basically the application softwares which are open source. So you can just get the code from any one of them and start contributing. And they have the specific communities for every feature as well. So they are very active there. You can join their Google groups or their various masters they have. You can just fill the form and be a part of the community and start contributing. Operating system. Some of the good operating systems that you use, like Android mobile phones. So these Android phones are almost all over the market, right? Linux operating system, FreeBSD, ReactOS, iQube, FreeDOS, all of these are open source. So Android is basically developed by Google, Linux is occupied by open source developers. So you can get the code, you find a bug, you can start solving it. You want to contribute a feature, you can contribute to that feature, or you want to adapt it to a particular VM or environment, you can do so because the code is open source. And you can put a pull request, and then if it is reviewed and merged, the name is yours. Programming languages, not just the application and operating system are open source, some programming languages also open source. And the good example of it is Python, Perl, PHP, Ruby, Prolog, and PHP. So Python is among the most, what should I say, rising and evolving language of the current time. In terms of microservices, it gives a very, very faster interface as compared to the Java. So this Perl, Python, and PHP, these are actually open source software. So if you want to contribute to these languages, you can also do so by going on their website and creating a part of the community. So you can join their Google groups or other groups. They have the code groups and all. So you can join them and start contributing. Other examples of open source software. You must have heard about WordPress, Joomla, these content management softwares, OpenCart, Mambu, and apart from that, these are like Social Engine, Joomla, WordPress, OS Commerce, Mambo, Drupal. All of these are very common and open source software. So you can immediately start contributing by joining the community corresponding to it. In addition to that, there's some digital content also that is open source, like Wikipedia. Wikipedia you can see, like Wikipedia, the entire world can see, the developers can see, the users can see. So Wikimedia is owned and operated by Wikimedia Foundation. It's a non-profit foundation dedicated to bring free content to the world. And various Wikimedia projects are Wikipedia, Wikicode, Wikibooks, Wikispecies, Wikinews, Wikisource, and some other aspects also, like Wikimedia and Wikimedia Commons. So you can, all of these proprietary rights are reserved by the Wikimedia Foundation. So you can actually start contributing to it. And you can start, so if you found some language or something that is written that is not true in the information on the Wikipedia page, you can exactly report it there and start contributing with the correct news. So that way it provides us a safe and virtual environment for getting the authentication responses. Apart from that, there are some office softwares that we use. Office softwares in LibreOffice, Apache OpenOffice, NewOffice, and FreeOffice. So these offices are actually very highly used in the organization for proprietary software. So these are actually also open source. So if you found a particular, if you want to develop a new feature, you want to add a new feature to it, or you found a bug when you are using it, you can start reporting and start solving it. You can part be of a community. So let's come out a conclusion there that we learned about open source. Common platforms for sharing ideas. So basically, open source is a common platform for sharing ideas and putting them into action by developers or other people who wishes to improve a product or a software. When I say improve, I can be specifically asking for a bug to update or a particular vulnerability you find you can solve it, or improve as in such you want to add a feature that will be contributing, right? So in the open source revolution, people collaborate to create, produce software and technology. Now, when I say collaborate, they collaborate in a very functional way. So there are various Discord groups, there are Google groups, there are other platforms, there are Slack groups. So one by one, each step is done. So if you want to contribute a particular feature, you can open a pull request, let's go GitHub, and then your code will be reviewed. And once it is reviewed by the corresponding contributor, then it will be merged with it. And once it is merged, that's all. So your edit, so the feature that you have added is actually added to the platform or the particular software. See how amazing it is, and billions of people are actually using it. Based upon the key advantages of open source, we can finally conclude that open source deserves the increasing popularity, for sure. And some of the license that I have told about is GNU, General Public License, open source licenses, open source initiative information, and there are some repositories of open source software like source code, GitHub, and you can go there and start it. I will share the slides with them as well, so you can just go there and go to these websites and check out some awesome open source software and projects that are being open source. You can start contributing immediately. Okay, and just to give a reference also, the recently developed Arogya Setu app that was also open source. So you can also start contributing for that software. Okay, now coming to the very important aspect. So we have learned about communities, we have learned about the importance of communities, we have learned about why we need communities, what are the for the general overall perspective, and for a developer perspective. So we have learned all these things now. Now let's understand what are should be the top developer communities that every developer should know or they must be aware of. And even if you have not joined this, I highly recommend you to join it because it's extremely important for upskilling you. First, GitHub. GitHub is supporting a community where more than 40 million people, I repeat, 40 million people, learn, share, and work together to build software. The GitHub community form, if you're using GitHub, you must know about GitHub community form. So GitHub community form is a place where you can share ideas and follow discussion topics that might interest you. For example, if you're interested in finding a solution for Golang or microservices, you can just click on Golang and click on subscribe. So based upon that, you will be notified with every notification for the common discussion that are going on in the current topic. So if let's say just give an example, if you want to develop a microservice in Golang and you want to see how it's actually done, you can actually go on the page and find out the entire workflow. Not just the entire workflow, there you can find the end-to-end solution as well. So any particular topic you're interested in or you want to learn about, you can go to the GitHub community form, search for the topic and subscribe to that particular topic. And apart from that, you can find a lot of interesting projects. There's so many interesting projects available there. So you can just go to the project, you can start contributing to it, and just make changes to it and make sure that it's developed in the best possible way, the best optimized way to the end user. And as a developer, it is about common strategy and platform to give the user the best we can do. Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is a very common platform. It's a very popular platform. It's an open community for anyone that codes. It helps you get answers to your toughest coding questions, share knowledge with your coworkers, and find your next dream job. You can get answers to more than 17 million questions and give back by sharing your knowledge with others. So a lot of times, many developers, when they crack into a bug or something that cannot be solved, they can actually seek answers from Stack Overflow, post it on a Stack Overflow. So in Stack Overflow, there is millions of users who are actually using it for developers. And anyone who has experienced that similar question or similar query, they can actually give their answers to it. And there's up down and downward button also. So upward will give you actually, okay, this is the most optimal way to solve it. And downward will most people are not satisfied with it. So this is one of the best platforms for using this Stack Overflow. And specifically if you're running some VM issues or particular any issues in coding languages in general. Apart from that I would like to mention about Stack Overflow is that Stack Overflow is also a career seeking website. So if you go to the job section of Stack Overflow, you can find your next big job. And I've seen a lot of people who have been placed by Stack Overflow in very good companies like Google and Microsoft. So not only just you are contributing to this community, you are learning from the community, you're solving your problems, and of course you're getting job too. And that too at the top product based companies like Google and Microsoft. So that's why it is very important for every developer. And even in general perspective, even if you're not a developer, it's very important to be a part of the community. Ultimately, it helps you in sharing knowledge and, of course, skilling yourself in life. Hacker News. Hacker News is also a very common platform. It's an independent tech media site. It is served by technologists, developers, Bitcoiners, and blockchain enthusiasts. So there are tons of stories about software engineering, coding languages, and security topics that will grab your attention. So HackerNoon is I have been using HackerNoon for past 1 year or so. So HackerNoon is kind of a what should I say? Facebook for developers. Yeah, if I use the right analogy, it's a Facebook for developers. So there are various stories are formed in forms of the story. So what is going on in the technology, what is going on in the blockchain, any new feature added in Bitcoin, or any new feature added in a particular language, they are formed in the form of a story. So you can go through and read the stories, and these are actually articulated in a very interesting way. So in that interesting way, you can learn about coding languages, networking, security topics, blockchain, Bitcoin, anything, anything that is related to technology, including the crypto language, coronavirus, startup, coding, anything that is related there. So you can see the platform overview over here, right? GraphQL API, anything that is related offshore to the software, you can find it. Women Who Code. Women Who Code is also a very common platform apart from Arisa VORG. It's one of the developer committees that is built to empower women in tech. They have 2 lakh members who are career-age professionals operating at each level of the industry. You can find coding resources, leadership opportunities, job vacancies, and events that can advance your technical skills to their global developers committee. So Kubernetes Code is specifically developed for the females. So this is a very huge developer community, and there's one more community called Arisa Biology, and they have several programs running for as well entire year. One is the Grace Offership program, if I have to name it. So for all the women out there, for all the females out there who are interested in making a developer community, who are want to be in the software development field, we have the community for it. Women who code, Anita BORG and things like that. So there you can find the leadership opportunities, coding resources, job vacancies, and other events that you can advance your technical skills. Now, when I say technical skills, even if you are not much very experienced with it, there are people who are willing to help for you. And that's the biggest advantage of being a part of a community. And the best part is, it doesn't matter which part of the world you are. Let's say if you are not very much apart from a third world country or you don't have much access to much resources, it doesn't matter. So we are part of a global developer community. The first slide I mentioned about part of a something bigger. That is what I meant. Because irrespective of wherever you are, whatever you are, there are people all around the world who are willing to help you. And that is the biggest advantage of using a community. DigitalOcean. DigitalOcean, you must have heard about a very commonly called Hacktoberfest. This is a very common competition they organize for Hacktober. So DigitalOcean is a platform where developers are supporting developers. If you have questions, idea, something to share, the community is designed to help you. You want the open source community to thrive. There are a lot of tutorials and questions you can browse. Apart from that, you can explore the tools of developers community by using the DigitalOcean API. Simply put, digital developers supporting developers. That is the theme line they have for the community. So here, anything that you have, you want an idea to share, you want a complex problem to solve out, you want to help the community in some other way, there's always a way for you. You want to contribute anything, there's always a way for you. Apart from that, they highly support the open source software. As I mentioned, Hacktoberfest, it is an open source contest platform that they do in October, I guess, every year. And this is a very good platform as well. If you have not participated in it, you can check it out and see how it goes. It's available on their website too. So apart from that, there are a lot of tutorials and questions you can solve. You want to learn a particular language, you want to learn about APIs, you want to learn about services, monolithic, monolithic, whatever. You want to go for the microservices, you want to go for cloud development. There are a lot of tutorials available on their site. So you can immediately go there and start learning. And apart from that, you can ask questions and get the answers to your questions as well. In addition to that, they can expand the developer community. They have to build their own DigitalOcean API. So you can go there and check for that. Now coming to a very important aspect, what are the major tech giant communities that have their campus organizations? Now, when I say campus organizations, I'm specifically asking for college students. They can join when they are college students and they can start contributing in their college. They can start creating workshops, they can start creating seminars, they start creating events based upon related to technology. Let's switch into it. Developer student clubs. Developer Students Clubs is organized by Google. It is sponsored by specifically by Google. So DSC are university-based community groups for students interested in Google developer technology. Students from all undergraduate or graduate programs with an interest in growing as a developer are welcome. By joining a DSC, students grow their knowledge in a peer-to-peer learning environment and build solutions for local businesses and their community. Now, when I say peer-to-peer learning environment, what do I mean? As I said, these campus programs that we are going to discuss right now for tech giants. So most of the tech giants like Google, Microsoft, Cisco, Amazon, they provide opportunities for the students who are in their college life to actually explore something apart from their college curriculum that is being taught. And once you're part of that community, you can start creating your other peers in the same community, and you can start building it. And not only just that, you can create events, you can promote it, you can have seminars, you can have workshops, you can have guest speaker sessions, and once in a year they have their particular day for that as well. So Microsoft has this Microsoft Technology Associate Day in law. DSC clubs has DSC Fest organized every year. Things like that. It's very fun where you meet for people all around the world. So all around the world, DSC have its group. As in for every college they have, every group they have. So for DSP CVRG, DSP MAIT, DSP DTU, and they will DSP based upon the organization. So based upon that, every college has their own DSP group, and they can contribute to what they are contributing for Google Developers Group. And in addition to that, they can mix each other and share ideas among the community. So, students from all UG or graduate programs with an interest in growing the developer are welcome. And when you join a DSP, you get a chance to share the knowledge in a peer-to-peer learning environment. And they can build solutions for local business and your community. When I say solution is not specific to any particular thing, you can start for anything you want to build. Build as in you can start building for your college website, you can start building for your nearby business store, anything. It's just need to be something that's contributing to your society. It can be part of your college, it cannot be part of your college. As long as it's community, it is long as it's providing something useful to the community. And how to join the DSP? Well, you can simply go to the Google page for that, Google Developers Plus, and you can click on Find a DSP near you or Lead a DSP. If your college does not have a DSP, you should have to register it first and then you can join it. And if your college have DSP, you should start asking how to be part of it and just start contributing to it. Next is MSP program, Microsoft Student Partner. Microsoft Student Partner is also a very common program. So it's a program to sponsor students who are majoring in technology-related disciplines, like CS or IT degree or EC degree specifically. The student partners are a group of on-campus ambassadors who help fellow students leading their technology, local tech community, as well as develop technical and career skills for the future. So if you want to enroll for Microsoft Learning Student Master Program, earlier it was MSP only, Microsoft Student Program. Now it has been renamed as Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, MLSA program. So both are the same program. They're not different programs. Earlier it used to be MSP and now it is defined as MLSA. Okay. So if you want to register as a MLSA, Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, you can go to the Microsoft MS website and you can click on apply now. Your application will be shortlisted and probably you will have 2 or 3 rounds of interview. And once you're done with the interview, you may be selected as a Microsoft Student Learn Ambassador. So basically, it's more or less like a Google Developers Group as well in terms of a developer student club. So there also you have a peer community, peer-to-peer learning. So you can start having events, seminars, workshops, and contribute to each other platforms. So the basic goal of these communities is to develop something for the community or the society while you are learning in a college. Because more or less, the things that we are taught in the college curriculum, is not much very aligned with what other companies want you to do. So make sure that you are utilizing this wonderful opportunity and actually making the best use out of it. Cisco DevNet Student Ambassador Program. So Cisco Developer Net is a community to help developers build out Cisco APIs and platforms. It provides you the tools to learn, code, get inspired, and connect with the Cisco technology. The ideal candidate for the ambassador program will leverage the tools and techniques built on top of Cisco technologies as well as share them with campus. So if you want to join the Cisco Developer Net Student Ambassador Program, you can just Google it or just search for the website and you can start clicking and make a sign up for free. I'm not sure what about the deadlines are. Probably it's around March, I guess, February, March. You have to check it because it's twice in a year. So I think one is February, March, and one is September, October. So go to the website, get yourself updated, and be a part of Cisco Development Student Investor Program. The best part of working at Cisco Developer Student Net Investor Program is that you get the chance to work on the Cisco developed products, like the APIs or where the tech stack we use here, or some other cloud-based services that we have provided. So here you can learn how to code, get inspired, and connect with Cisco technology. And best part, you can participate in hackathons and various other stuff like their seminars, their events, hackathons. You can build something new out of it. GitHub Campus Experts. So GitHub Campus Experts is also a very common platform for using for the student ambassador. So GitHub Campus Experts provides you learning types of technical and professional skills. Now, when I say professional skills, I mean technical writing, community leadership, public speaking, and most of all, software development. So software development is not just about developing or coding. It's also about your professional development. Professional development as in how good as a leader you are, how community leaders you are, how good as a team player you are, how good as a public speaker you are, how good as a negotiator you are, and other things. So as a GitHub Campus expert, you will receive training and mentorship from GitHub employees, opportunities to participate in exclusive events. So GitHub also has this event once in a year and support to help and grow the developer community. So if you want to become a campus expert, you can just Google about GitHub Campus Expert and go to their website and click on Become a Campus Expert. And if you are not selected as a campus expert, not an issue. You can find a campus expert there and you can start contributing with how they can contribute and try for the next step. And one of the advantages of becoming a GitHub Campus expert is that you get access to a lot of learning resources. Learning resources as in cloud, AWS, Azure, GCP. You get access to Node.js and several other tech stacks, React, So you get access to front end, back end, deployment, cloud services, microservices, and other languages also. In addition to that, you also get a free domain. I think it is valid for 1 year. So you get a free GitHub domain for 1 year. So you can post your website on it. So of course, it gives you a very kind of technical and professional skills to learn. And the best part of being in a technology is that you are able to learn and you're able to inspire. You learn from people and you inspire the people. So now comes a very important aspect. So we have learned about what are the so till now what we have covered. We have covered why we need a community, how we can see in a community. Third part we have covered is how why community is required for overall development. Fourth is how a community is important for a general development for software specific. Then we came to open source, and then we understood about some of the major communities as well as the campus semester programs for the tech chat. Last and the very important topic is how do we prosper as a successful developer in community? We have understood about various communities, we have gone through it. We have understood about various communities, we have gone through it. We know which community to join and we wanted to join it. But now the major part comes is how do we prosper as a successful developer in that community? Because it is very extremely important. Only merely joining a community won't make you a successful developer. Let me make this very clear. Only merely joining a successful community and not contributing anything won't make you successful. So it's better not to join them. But if you want really willing to learn and willing to contribute and willing to help, that community is going to manifold your life in a very, very positive way. So let's come to the part how to prosper as a successful developer in the community. The very first thing is that great developers. Now, when I say great developers, what do I mean? Everyone can code, right? But not everyone can become a great developer. So what do I mean by when I say great developer? Great developers do more than coding. It's not just about sitting in the front of a laptop and coding. No, that's not what developers are meant for. Developers are meant for to solve the problems in real life. And how problems can be solved? Problems can be solved by combination of all the three aspects. First is the technical expertise that you must have because of being a developer. Second, passion. Core it out of your passion. And third is the soft skills. For any professional, it doesn't matter which domain you are, development or the military or the doctors or anything, oil refinery, anything, industry and textile. Soft skills are extremely important. So when you become a great developer, it's not just about coding only, it's a combination of three aspects: technical expertise, passion, and soft skills. Let's understand these passions one by one. First is technical expertise. When I say technical expertise, you deliver high quality design, code, and final product. It goes through a lot of processes. High quality means you are able to modelize your code. You are able to make the trade-offs between time and space. You are able to use the right tech stack that is required. You are able to use the right resources that you are providing. Resources as it gain constant in terms of time and space. So you are able to utilize it and code it and give the final product to the end user. Passion. Development is not just a job, it's much more than a job. It's having the curiosity for learning and trying new things. And of course, it's something that your willingness to learn to solve the problem. So when you see a problem in technology or when you see a problem in real life that can be solved with the help of a technology, you should go for it. That's what your passion is. Third and extremely important, soft skills. Soft skills is have human skills that help people relate to people. Now, when I say relate to people, I mean by soft skills, I mean community leadership, your team player, and your public speaking skills. How are you able to interact with the community? How are you able to present your ideas to stakeholders or some other person or some other community? How are you able to talk with the people? How are you able to convince them? How are you able to negotiate them? And in the end, that makes you an overall leader and a great developer. Great developers are great communicators. Obviously, when you're working on a very crucial project, or any project for that matter, that's going to involve teamwork. And every people is going to have their own opinion. So you have to make sure that the teamwork always exists. So you have to think about various opinions, various perspectives, various aspects, and then make an end-to-end solution and deliver it to the client. So how can we become a great communicator? So you must have understood the one who is a good speaker is a first listener first. You have to become a good listener first, becoming a good speaker. So practice your listening skills. Understand your audience, context, needs, and motivation. So when you're talking with a team and when you're talking with a client, these two are entirely different frameworks. So you should be very able to understand your audience. When you're giving a guest speaker in a particular college, and when you are talking with a client or with your team, these three are very three different conditions. You should understand your audience, the context, the need, and the motivation for it. Use the right means of communication. When I say right means of communication, you should understand whether it's a offline event or a physical event or it's an online event. Do you have the right technical sources for it, and do you have using the right frameworks for it? And make sure that is audience is able to understand what you are able to trying them to explain in a very simple and lucid way. You don't need to make it too complicated, and on the other hand, you don't need to make it too boring. So the audience should be very much interested in what you are speaking. So that's one of the key aspects of a great communicator. Document and share decisions. Confirm understanding, clarify assumptions. Asking doubts is very important. So if you have explained very efficiently and your clients are having any doubts or the audience that you have explained to have any doubts, it's very important to sort out their doubts because ultimately that will lead to a good presentation. If you present it very well but you're not able to sort out the doubts of your audience, it will not count as a good communication or a good presentation for that matter. Provide direct answers and keep people informed. Any updates on your software, what are the progress that's going on. Make sure that your audience is updated with it. Share and promote the sharing of knowledge. It is very, very key aspect in every profession. So the more you share the knowledge, the better it becomes. So make sure you are in tight touch with the audience and make sure that you are providing them platforms to get connected with you so that they can share the features in ahead or any feedback in the future. Last aspect is networking. Networking is about making the meaningful connections. Okay, let's think about it. Meaningful connection. When we say meaningful connection, what is meaningful connection? Networking is more than who know and who knows you. So it's allowed to expand the sphere of your influence. The more people you can influence, the more people you can take and contribute something. Reach outside of your comfort zone. So instead of having being limited to yourself or having a hesitant feeling, it's always better to network and contribute with the people. Get to know your contacts, coffee, lunch, meetings, engage in small talks, take part in seminars, take part in webinars, take part in different conferences that are having happened for developer communities. There's so many good developer conference communities for us happen. Attend the events, leverage the wing person. Wing person has been the one who have accomplished something really great in their domain. Use how they have learned it, and try to learn from them. And make sure you also contribute something wonderful to the community. Disregard hierarchies. One of the best advantages of being in community, as I told earlier, is there is no hierarchy in community. Whereas in organization, yes, we have hierarchies, but in community, we don't have any hierarchy for that matter. So it's not about who is working under whom or over whom. It's we all are working as a part of a community. So that's the best part. Disregard hierarchy. Create contextual organization charts. Analyze your stakeholders' motivation. Now, when I say stakeholders, stakeholders can be your product manager, stakeholder can be your investor, stakeholder can be your architect, and other people who are having their influences in the matter of the product you are building. So make sure you are analyzing your stakeholders' motivation when you're networking with them. Pay forward by connecting people. Ultimately, it comes to be your network is your network. So that has been all the session. So let's summarize what we have learned till now. So first we started with why we need a community. Second, how as a community can help us in overall development. Third, how in a software development it can help us. And then we switch to open source only. We talk about the open source, how we can contribute in terms of open source, and how it can provide us as a part of the community. Fifth, we learned about some of the major contributors, major open source community platforms. And sixth, we came out about the initiatives by tech giants like Microsoft, Cisco, Google, and some other tech giants also there, like GitHub, and what are the various programs and how we can join it, how we can participate and start contributing. And sixth and the last, we have learned about is how to be prosperous, successful developer in those community after joining. So last summary, what you have understood is learning software development involves a lot more than just learning a programming language, right? It's about solving the problems, it's about using your soft skills, it's about using your technical expertise, it's about using your passion and combining all three to create an end product. Aim of community. The aim of community is to build a vibrant community of software professionals. Now, when I say vibrant, I mean diverse. Diversity will happen. Those who are very good at what they do, and apart from that, we need to have a diversity. Diversity is nobody can be judged or nobody can be radicalized based upon their social background or economic background or anything. Each and every one individual is a very extremely part of us, and they all contribute equally. Help you learn software development. Even if you're nobody can learn everything, right? You must have understood this problem. There's so many vast field in terms of software development, so nobody can learn everything. But yeah, somebody can help them learn something. I repeat the quote. Nobody can learn everything, but somebody can help someone learn something. So even if you are contributing to a small extent, that will ultimately create a better impact when you're part of such a big community. So we can have free programming sessions, we have workshops, we have coaching mentoring, we have virtual internships, events, conferences, seminars, and so many other things are there in the part of the community. So that's why I have given you more than enough reasons to join a community. Now it's up to you guys. Immediately be a part of community and start contributing. Trust me, as I said, it's going to pay you enough to it. When I was in my college, I was part of our DST team. I was part of our Microsoft Student Ambassador program, and I was part of a Mozilla community as well. And ultimately, sooner or later, all these parts, all these contacts, all these conferences, events actually help you later down the line. Some other learning resources if you want. There are so many of the resources that are available on the website. Some of the websites are Coursera, Udacity, developers.google.com, Khan Academy, Code Academy, WP resources, Learn Code the Hard Way, Makers Academy. So many other resources are there. Few of the resources are Lead Code, Geek for Geek, Hacker Tutorials, Top Coder, Code Courses. And if you want, if you are a more of a, if you're not very much inclined towards the online resources, if you want to go with the traditional book, there are also many books in the market for cracking the coding interview by Maxwell and PM interview, tech career. Other so many things are there. And not just for the technical expertise, they are also for your software, soft skills expertise, and the passion expertise. That's all for this session, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want to keep in touch with me, these are my various social media IDs where you can get in touch with me. I am not very much useful on some of these platforms, but I'm highly active on LinkedIn and YouTube, so you can connect with me over there. And in addition to that, I will be happy to answer any queries that you have. Thanks a lot for inviting me to the DSC CBRGO team. It has been indeed a wonderful session, and I really liked contributing to some of the aspects. And I hope you people have understood about the importance of the community that we have. And I hope soon you will be joining the community and start contributing. Let me know if you have any queries for it. Thanks a lot to the DSC CBRG for inviting me as a speaker.
Divang, I think there are a lot of questions from our guys out here. You can see it in the comments. Like, there's a question: how a community help us to increase our communication skills?
Okay. So, well, there are so many questions. So I would like to answer them one by one only. It would be great, Aman, if you can read it for me. So, first question is that how we can increase our communication skills as a part of community. As I said, when you're part of a community, it's not just about contributing, it's about being a part of something bigger than you. So when you're part of a community, there are many events, there are many other social platforms, there are other works and conferences and tech stacks. So when you're in an event, let's say you make a product, right? It's not just about making a product. You have to give it to a hackathon. Let's say take part in a hackathon. Let's take part in a particular workshop you're providing. So there you have to stand among 60,000 or whatever the size of the conference is. You have to deliver your ideas. So in that way, you learn about your communication skills. So start with your college or start with your particular local group you're part of, and then you take it to a larger scale. So you develop something with a group of five people, right? You take part in a hackathon, develop with a group of five people, and then you show them to a team of let's say 1,000 person or the audiences who are there. So in that way, you develop your communication skills as well as your technical skills. Does communities help in campus placement? It's a very good question. Well, I've already told you, community is not just about building something, community is about networking. And there's a quote that is said in the early, your network is your network. So it helps in campus placement as in if you're specifically targeting for a company. Yes, definitely it does. Because you get to have contacts from a lot of companies, all the companies, because communities is every major software that are developing, they are part sharing of the company. So if they are in the community, they can definitely help you for that. So how it helps in campus placement is that you actually can network with them and expose with them. Okay, what particular softwares are you using? What particular ask them questions like how's the work going? How can I prepare for it? And this. And I'm sure if you make it professionally, everyone would love to help you. And in addition to that, if you are very good in your community, if you're contributing to very good, everyone who's particular in that company, which is your dream company, he would be more than happy to refer you.
So, Devang, there is another question from Nabaratan Patra.
Yeah.
So, he is asking that do I need to be a part of one community or multiple communities?
Depends on you. Depends on you. There is no session that if you're part of one community, you cannot join another. Nothing like that. Community is there is no hierarchy. In community, there is no limitations. As long as you're part of a community, you just make sure that you're contributing. But again, on the other hand, don't do like this. You join 5 committees or 10 committees and you contribute to them. No, please don't do that. It's better to join one community and contribute to it. If you think that yes, you are capable of joining several communities and you can contribute simultaneously, go ahead for it. That's the best part. But make sure you're part of a community. Make sure that you are solving the problem. Ultimately, it's about solving problems and helping people. How to know which communities is good for us? Okay, that's a very good question. How to know which community is good for us? Well, I'll be very unbiased with you. So there is no community that is good for it. It's about how you contribute to the community that makes you good for it. Because almost any organization, be it Google, be it Microsoft, be it Cisco, you cannot say which one is better. They all are expert in their own domains, right? So you have to make a call which particular committee I should choose. When I say make a call, I mean how it will interact with your long-term goals and your short-term goals. Which particular tech stack you want to contribute to. Are you getting the right environment? Are you getting the right resources? And based upon that trade-offs, you make a decision and go ahead with it. So it's totally your choice. But make sure you do your research before joining a company. How to be in a community if we don't have one in your college campus? Not an issue, not an issue. So, okay, let me just go through it. If you have no community in college campus, let's say DSC or MLSA for example, you can go to the Google Developers website or Developer Student Club website and you can click on create a new DSC or create a new DSC club. So you can get the permission, you can get your college registered there and start your community from yourself. That's the example of DSC have given. So similarly for Microsoft Associate and for Cisco Developer Net and other community, right? In addition to that, if you don't have any community or if you find that the communities in your college are not decent enough to join, you can also join Facebook developer circles. So Facebook developer circles are not limited to college. They are not limited to any campus. They are limited for a particular zone. So if I take a New Delhi zone or a Bangalore zone or a Hyderabad zone, things like that. So they are divided in zones. If you think that okay, college community is not something that I've been looking for, they're not providing me something that I'm looking for, you can go for the Facebook developer circle. So for that, you don't even need to be a part of a college. Are communities beneficial for GSOC? Definitely yes. Google Summer of Code or any open source platform, GSOC, GSSOC, any open source platform, yes, communities are very beneficial. The two reasons if I have to simply give is first, you get exposed to a lot of text, a lot of text. And Google Summer of Code is all about how much text you're going through. Because ultimately you get a project, you have to submit a proposal for it, right? So once you're submitting a proposal for it and you write that you are part of this community and you've built that much and you have just taken the responsibility that much, it actually improves. So the one who will be reviewing your proposal for GSOC or any other open source contribution, you'll be definitely looking into it. That you have been a part of a community, that you have the background for it, and ultimately you will solve it. So Google Summer of Code is also a community I'm in. So yes, being a part of the community always helps. Should we join the community or just take part in the events of Netherlands? What is more preferable? Join the community. Taking parts in the event is like you go there, you attend the session, and then you left out. That's not going to help you in any way. Yes, you might have networking events for that 1 day or 2 day, but ultimately it's not going to help. You're not going to learn anything more from it. It's always better to join the community. Because when you are internal part of the community, you actually work with the people. You improve on your technical skills, you improve on your professional skills, you improve on your communication skills, and you have an overall development. And not just become a tech savvy, you become the overall good, great developer. So in that way, I will always recommend to join the community rather than just attending the events for it. Any other question, guys? How becoming part of communities help us in creating a profile for placement? Okay. Okay, that's a good question. So when you say placement, what do you exactly mean? Only for your on-campus placement or on-campus placement? Then cover the both. For on-campus placement, even if you write it in your resume, you're part of a community. Let's say you have a community for DSP in your college, right? DSP ABCD. That's the name of the college, ABCD. You're part of a committee, you'll always expect you to answer what responsibilities you had, what tech stack you had, what everything you had. That's part of the on-campus placement. For off-campus placements, when you're part of a big community or a good community, you will definitely have contacts in almost every good organization. So when you're part in that and you're contributing good to it, I said it again, being a part doesn't make you the right fit. What you're contributing it makes the right fit. There is no good community, there is no bad community. It's about how you are utilizing it and how you are contributing it. So if you're part of a good committee and you're contributing really well to it, obviously the senior developers or the hiring managers will be looking out for it because ultimately you're contributing so much and you're getting so much traction around it. So definitely they'll be getting in touch with you. So yes, that will help in creating profiles for placement preparation, both on-site and off-site. Can we mention about the communities members? Yeah, definitely do. Definitely do. If you have taken this responsibility and you're contributing something to the community, take it for it. Even if that is not a technical community, it's a no technical community, you should mention. Because ultimately you have provided something and you have learned something. So it's not just about technical skills. Yes, if you're in a technical community, definitely you will learn technical skills. But it's not just about technical skills, it's about part of your professional skills and communication skills and the overall development. And when the question is asked to you how much responsibility you have taken, you can definitely mention that I was part of this responsibility in this particular role, and I have managed this many people or carried out this particular event. Should I try to become a lead or a member? Okay, try as in what? So lead or a member. So I would like to answer this with one thing. If you want to be a good leader, try to be a good player first. If you want to be a good leader first, you try to become a good member first. And if once you have gained sufficient experience, once you have gained sufficient amount of knowledge, then become a leader. And once if you think that you are yes, you are capable of it and you have the sufficient experience of handling people, handling events and all, then go ahead for it. Go ahead for it. But definitely the one statement I have to give here is that if you want to be a good leader, learn to be a good member first because it's extremely important. Because if you don't have experience as in yourself, you will not have experience in managing people, dealing with conflicts, making sure the negotiation skills, others and others that won't provide you so much thing, right? So people might probably will not be impressed by your leadership style. But the important part is that you make sure that you are at the right stage and you have the sufficient amount of experience, and then you go with the leader. And a leader is not about the position, a leader is about what you contribute. That's it. Thank you. Any other question, guys? We have many streams, example, ML Tech. Yeah, yeah. So when I say software, there's a plenty of things that you can say, and it's not just about ML. So there's machine learning, artificial intelligence, Android, full stack, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, so many other things are there. So it depends on which you're developing, which team you are developing. And if your community doesn't have that, you can start that. Get in touch with your lead or get in touch with the person who are there. Have a meeting. They have meetings, right? So and then how to select the best team for yourself. Depends on your interest. It simply put depends on your interest. If you're a person, if you have more interest in terms of making a machine learning model or getting the artificial intelligence part, go for it. And if you're the kind of a person who want to go for a full stack, go for it. It's your passion about it. There's no other answer for it. Okay. Any tips for a beginner in this field? See, every expert was a beginner first, right? So the tips is that start exploring. Don't have any presumptions. As a beginner, if I have to say when I started, I didn't have any presumptions that this is the tech stack I have to use, this is the community I have to choose. No, I became part of it, and then the span of time, I learned and figured out, okay, this is the particular domain that I found interest, and then I continued it. So don't make a kind of a presumption in it because that will create a biased opinion in your mind. Once you're a beginner, you have the best opportunity to learn in life. So don't misuse it or don't brainwash it. So go with the different communities, go with the various aspects, and then take some time, try everything, and then make a decision. And once you have make your decision, then make sure you don't go and go back. Take your time to make a decision, understand all the aspects, all the positives and negatives, and then go ahead. And once you're clear with the decision, then you can move it.
Thank you, sir, for your such wonderful guidance in building oneself in community. I hope our viewers must have surely appreciated your words and will help us immense guidance from your instructions and message. Now, I would like to tell you all how you can be part of emerging communities from this moment onwards. We, the DSC community, is open to you all. Developer Student Clubs, basically known as DSC, is a program led by Google itself, organized as different communities in different parts of the world. I feel I feel immense gratitude that we have one in our CV Raman Global University itself, known as DSC CVRGU. DSC CVRGU community serves as an important source of knowledge and gain to university students. This helps the students build their skills and knowledge on their interest and domain. Through this program, students can gain a handful knowledge of developer technologies to peer workshops, interactions, and events. We support them to be social enough to grab these opportunities at their feet. DSC CVRG also favors students to build their professional and personal networks as they get an enthusiastic learning environment. We have designed to help students build their development skills and knowledge, providing a substantial opportunity to become a part of Google's ecosystem and focus towards employability in the long run. Apart from all this, we are here to strengthen all of you as a community. We ensure you to provide the best collaboration and grant you the beneficial teamwork guidance on every step of our journey because your success is all that makes us successful. So don't waste a single second and join us for a better future. Thank you.